Welcome to the Neighborhood Church Revive podcast. We are so glad that you're joining us today as we unpack big ideas about God's Word together. My name is Sean Thomas. I'm an associate campus pastor here at Neighborhood Church, and we believe that God's Word is helpful and relevant even for today, which is why we take the time to unpack what it says, to have a conversation about what we're doing at Neighborhood Church, and just to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Well, today's a fun day on the podcast because we have the arts worship team here with Miss Haley.
Hello.
And Mr. Bob.
Yay.
And so we are the worship arts team here. So as you guys listening to the podcast, you know it's the Christmas season. Everybody is super busy on staff. And so we're, as the arts team, we're just making it happen for the podcast for this week. And it's going to be fun because, like I said, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, and we're talking about Christmas songs today. For those of you who watched or were here to listen to the sermon, the message, last Sunday, Pastor Mike spoke at Cypress. Elder Steve Ellis spoke over at Los Alamitos. They talked about the Annunciation to Mary and Joseph. You know, Gabriel came, okay, this is happening. This is a huge event. And at our church over at the Los Al campus, we sang Breath of Heaven, that song. That is one of my all-time favorite, not only Christmas songs, but sometimes I'll listen to it just, anytime. And in my mind, it's all about the Holy Spirit, it's empowering Mary through this story, through her journey, and it's just profound. But I started thinking about Christmas songs. There's such a richness, at least for me, and I think a lot of people. And there's also a nostalgia and maybe a saccharine, to use one of Bob's words that I read just the other day, a saccharine sense of cheesiness. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys, what are some of your favorite Christmas songs, or maybe even most powerful Christmas songs? We were just listening to what was it, For King and Country? O Come, Emmanuel. That sounded super cool. Yeah, so Miss Haley, when you think of your favorite Christmas songs, what do you think of?
Ooh, I feel like that there are two categories for me in that. I think my first response would be Oh Holy Night. I think that is the Christmas song that always stirs my heart, and I feel like the way that it kind of tunes my ear to the true story of Christmas is just so instantaneous, and I feel like it does it in such a profound way that Oh Holy Night is definitely for the true meaning of Christmas. That is the song that stirs my heart most.
Do you have a rendition that's...
Oh, I don't think so. I think because for that one, it's about getting to join in a bit too, I think, being able to sing along with it. So I don't have one rendition that I like the most. But the other category for me when it comes to Christmas music has way more of the nostalgia, the element of what takes me back to what experiencing Christmas was like as a kid growing up. And so I definitely have renditions when it comes to that. Nice. I feel like the most quintessential Christmas album for me growing up, because I'm a 90s child, was born in the early 90s, 91.
Shout out for 91.
Shout out for 91. But Amy Grant's first Christmas album. Oh,
we listened to that on repeat. I was
guys,
a little older, but yeah, that was
my goodness. I love that one so much. Michael W. Smith also has a wonderful one from the 90s, Christmas album from the 90s that I immensely enjoy. That those are ones where several of the renditions that they do of some classic Christmas songs tend to be my favorite because, yes, of the nostalgia that is brought in there.
Yeah. When you said "Oh Holy Night," I was Josh Groban's version.
Oh, he does have a beautiful one.
It's really nice, and I'm not like a Josh Groban fan necessarily.
You are Grobanite.
As I open my coat and show my T-shirt.
Oh, I wish that'd been true.
No, but his rendition is really nice. I'm like, oh my gosh, and especially when it's like, Noel. It's like, I'm driving in my car, and I'm like, sing it, Josh, sing it.
You feel it. Yeah. Your bones shake.
Well, and it's so cool that And for you guys listening at home, we want to hear from you in the comments. Please type in your favorite Christmas songs. But it's so profound. Like you're in a store, you're driving in your car, and these once secular stations or places, environments are literally like this is the gospel message.
Yes.
Like, oh, holy night. Oh my gosh. Like this is when Christ was born.
Yes.
Bob, what about you, man? Any favorites come to mind or even cheesy favorites? Because we'll get there too.
Well, yeah, when Haley was bringing up her old-timey favorites, like I was trying to search for it right now, but there's no way. I have no frame of reference at all what to look for. But there was a excuse me, there was a Christmas album that or a Christmas tape.
Oh, okay.
That tape.
The cassette, yeah.
That, like, before, having something on repeat was a thing. I literally, as soon as you finish one side, you turn it over and you start the other. You just keep going.
Yeah.
For the record, Bob, I also existed in that era, okay? Don't be calling me out. That's how my whole first decade of life was.
Fair enough.
But Haley's a 91. Bob and I are 81. So, and then I'm sure,
Yeah. I don't want to throw her out, but I also don't want to just
that would be terrible. But yeah.
Right. So, but yeah.
So it's a tape.
It was some record. It was, and I feel like it might have even had a bunch of kids singing in it, but man, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I love that thing. Also, when I was a kid, the Alvin and Chipmunks tape, of course.
Class. Oh, the hoo-hoo. Still I want to hoo-la-hoo.
Exactly. So that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I can totally second Haley on the "Oh Holy Night" thing, because as soon as it gets to that fall on your knees bit, you're done.
Yeah.
For here, you're done. Mm-hmm. But lately, and we're playing it this Sunday too, so it is total coincidence. But well, I pick songs, so it can't be that coincidental. But
yeah. So it's you deciding.
There's a song by Casting Crowns called "Christmas Offering."
Oh, I just because you mentioned it,
yeah.
And I hadn't heard. At least I don't remember it. And I was listening to it, and I was like, "Oh, this is really good."
Yeah, and it's a simple song. There's nothing crazy about it. It's not like "Oh Holy Night" where it's got some amazing refrain that just wrecks you. It's
like
just
jumps the octave.
It's kind of like a good, and similar to the way you were saying how like you'll just randomly listen to Amy Grant throughout the year, even if it's not Christmas. That's sort of why I chose this song when you asked. It's just I can just listen to it, and it's a good story. That's the main thing. It's sort of a story.
Yeah.
Most songs are just, I don't know, poem theology sort of strung together in a narrative, but this one's actually over the skies of Bethlehem appeared a star. Just tells a story. So.
That's beautiful.
That's so good, yeah. And we'll provide links for all these. This isn't, at least the conversation now isn't super deep theology, but it's we do that a lot on this podcast. Also Sundays we have amazing resources for you guys to check out. But this, we're having a little lightheartedness for today, and we'll provide links to all of these to you guys because it's, especially in the holidays, because it does get hard. There's a lot of hardships, especially if family members are sick. And also our theme for this Christmas season this year at Neighborhood Church is waiting. It's all about that, here but not yet, that anticipation, as the Jews of the Old Testament were waiting for the Messiah for hundreds and hundreds of years. There was silence, and then he appeared in a way that was like, what? and now for us, we're waiting for Jesus' return. And, interesting that, we have, there's these things, there's these kind of signs or indications, but it's going to be something when he returns, who knows exactly what it's going to look like, and so there's this sense of waiting, and there can be angst in the waiting. Mm-hmm. But that's why it's nice to have these moments like in the Christmas season where there can be nostalgia, sweetness.
Sure, yeah.
And speaking of sweetness, one of the Christmas albums that I grew up listening to along with Amy Grant was the Alabama Christmas.
Oh
if you guys,
gosh.
And this is, my mom would play these records, and we're not like a country family necessarily, but this is just like, there's a it's a little cheesy, but again, we're going to provide a link, and there's just some taglines. And you remember being 6 years old, 7 years old, all like the blue and orange and red and green lights on the tree, and Alabama singing Santa Claus, I still believe in you, and I'm just like, I do too, Alabama. So what about so we talked about like powerful songs, and I wonder, Bob, like what is it? I'm thinking of Oh Holy Night. It's interesting because I feel like, fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine. And you go up. I'm thinking it's the octave, but maybe it's up to a fifth. There's something, and Haley is a musician as well. You guys, what is it about us? God created creativity, right? There's music, there's art. What is it about some songs where you really open up? Oh Holy Night is an intimidating song for some people, right? Yeah, you don't want to sing it alone or solo, but if you're singing it as a group, okay, I can kind of hide. Mm-hmm. But I've also heard this about the national anthem, the American national anthem. Yeah. Oh, say, can you see? That's like you're going up an octave. It's like you're... Yeah, within seconds. Like the first few lines, it's like, oh my gosh, what is it about songs that kind of we have to open, we have to maybe become a little vulnerable, kind of like, ooh.
Well, you've got to pull in the lungs a good amount of air and then let it all out. It's not. It takes effort.
Yeah.
It doesn't just like our conversations don't take as much effort. Inhale and start talking, but
jingle bells, that's like very monotone.
None of us have even tried to hit that Oh Holy Night note, even just describing it. Just because the fear of getting it wrong or something like that,
or voice cracking, or
right. And especially in American culture, we're so used to like hearing it done the right way, and so but. It's also supposed to be participatory. That's Christmas, carols in general.
Yeah.
It's just about together singing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of lost what your question was about.
No, and I think part two, it's the combo of both the technicality of the notes and everything, but that it's a song where the song calls for there to be dynamic to how you're singing it. Like there is a build, even it just in how it's been written, there is an innate build to what the lyrics are saying, and the notes of the song. And so I think the combination, as if you are performing it, is that okay? It's one task alone to sing this correctly, and then it's another task to have the dynamic to tell the story that the song also almost is begging for you to do. How do you do both? And then if you are leading, people in worship, if you are inviting people to be joining you in that, how do you do those things and also have people sing along with you? That is way more complex, I think, than people sometimes stop and think about.
Well, and I think even the lyrics fall on your knees.
Yes.
There is like that's
powerful.
Yeah, like because you can imagine that, and Oh Holy Night, and that kind of brings us back. So for the passage that was preached on for this past Sunday, it was from Matthew 1:18 to 24, where Mary, the angel comes to Joseph and says, "Hey, you're betrothed is going to have a child, and he's the Messiah." And then Luke 1:26 through 38, where Mary is confronted, and that announcement was made. And I'm from those lyrics that fall on your knees, hear the angel voices, this crescendo, right? Literally, and this overwhelming sense. I don't know. What would you guys do if an angel appeared to you? And there's this funny meme that you guys have probably seen, and we talked about it last week on the podcast, where it's an artist rendition of like, in like Revelation, it talks about an angel with 7 wings and eyes all over its body, and it's this, like this creature and everything, and it's completely terrifying. And it's like, if an angel like that appeared to you, that would be overwhelming.
Yes.
Who knows what Gabriel, this gigantic muscular, I don't even know. Like, how would you guys react to a situation like that?
Falling to my knees doesn't sound like enough. Like,
exactly.
That sinking
Find
into the ground is the
find a closet. Yes. I'm gonna go hide now.
Like, I would like to become one with the earth. Actually, can I just be as flat as a pancake and just be absorbed into this ground?
Yeah, can I melt away right now? What it says that Mary was greatly troubled at his words, and it's
that
like,
might be putting it mildly.
yeah. What do you guys think about? I mean, this is
I'm sure both of you remember in the movie Pinocchio when the blue fairy comes
Yes.
in the middle of the night and everybody runs and hides.
Yes.
Like even the cricket
that's true.
disappears. He's like, we gotta hide. And so to some extent, I mean, that's,
And she looks lovely. Like,
she has a nice dress,
Kind face.
Glittery.
but like, that's sort of a silly way of thinking about it, but it's still like, accurate. Like I would think I need to hide something. I don't know why. Like it's funny, if you're in a dark place and then a light starts to shine, you're supposed to think of that light as like, oh, that's safety or something like that, right?
But if it doesn't feel like if there's no understanding for yourself of what the source of that light is,
right.
I also wonder about the paralysis. Maybe we're getting into the conversation too of like, what is it, fight or flight? And the other one in there, I would argue, is the freeze, which I have discovered in my own life is actually when I am startled. Deer in headlights, like.
Fight, flight, or freeze.
Protect your organs, freeze and protect, just stay. If it's like a dinosaur, right? Like if I don't move, they won't see me. Isn't that what they say in the dinosaur movie?
Yes. Whenever I'm in the wild and I'm confronted by a dinosaur,
don't move.
Just a T-Rex, though.
Okay, wow.
T-Rex in Jurassic
so
Park.
If
Velociraptors,
if the angel Gabriel is actually akin to a T-Rex, then perhaps my freeze
would turn into a run.
Right.
A scream and then a run.
Yeah. So we're if somebody wants to re-image, the Christmas Story with dinosaurs, that would be adorable.
There you go. Or just imagine a T-Rex talking. The Lord has come, and he's born in Bethlehem, and these shepherds.
Do not be afraid, Mary.
What?
Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Now I'm thinking of a Whoopi Goldberg movie.
Oh yeah, there was a T-Rex. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Tina, there's some sort of T-Rex.
Yeah, she's
a cop, right?
They were cops in the future, and her partner was somehow a T-Rex.
What? Oh man, guys, I missed that. Sounds like gold.
I'm telling you, this movie exists.
Well,
my real question.
Note.
The real question, though, is it as good as The Land Before Time?
It's better than Amy Grant. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
To Land Before Time, not a dry eye, and even today, I watched it a couple years ago, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is.
When his mom
what
goes,
he was doing.
It's brutal.
It is. Yep,
it
guys.
It's still brutal.
It is still brutal.
And not only that, but to this day, that stinking movie. To this day, I still think, don't step on a crack or you break your mama's back.
Yes, that's the tone.
Because of Petrie.
Yes, of Petrie. Fun fact that no one asked for. Growing up, my cousins had many a cat, and all of their cats were named after Land Before Time characters. So they had Petrie and Sarah and Spike and Ducky and Chomper.
Ducky, adorable.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Oh, I know. We ended on Land Before Time.
Yeah. Any final thoughts about Christmas? About
Christmas and
Mary
Christmas
and
music.
Joseph for Christmas songs, Christmas music. And for those of you guys listening at home, we got Christmas Eve service coming up, Christmas Day service, and New Year's Day, because Christmas Day and New Year's Day are on Sundays.
Yes.
We're going to be singing carols. It's going to be super fun. So think about what your favorite songs are. And Bob, Haley, closing thoughts from you guys?
I acknowledge that I think culturally, because Christmas music can kind of run a very wide spectrum or includes a very wide spectrum of things, people can get really spent when it comes to Christmas music, which always makes me sad. I think that the true purpose of Christmas music is really powerful. And so, I hope the songs that we're singing on our Sunday services and our Christmas Eve services do that, hit those heart chords, if you will, and are reminding those who are with us of that, rather than yes, it's that time of year where I have to hear the same songs over and over and over again. I hope that we can all tune our hearts to the purpose behind the Christmas music.
Yeah, I can. If anything, I'm sort of thankful that pop wrote its own Christmas songs, because if all we heard on the radio was the stuff that we end up playing at church, like that would really make it hard to enjoy. I wonder, I should say, maybe I should make a definitive statement, but
interesting. Yeah,
like I can only hear "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree" so many times each year, or Grandma got run over by a reindeer, or those.
Yes.
You get to your limit on those
songs that are just like, all I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Dude,
don't go knocking that one. I love that one.
The Mariah Carry, I cannot stand. I mean, I'm sorry. I hope we don't lose listeners.
It's just overplayed.
That one is so goofy.
So, for all the
we'll include links to those.
For all the hatred on like how, because I'm right with the hatred, just so like I'm not at all saying like how dare anybody.
As you can tell on our team, Bob is our optimist.
It's you don't just have to come into church to hear these. Like, you can remind yourself that the internet exists, and you can turn off
good and bad.
You can turn off your radio and just look for the songs that you remember. They're out there.
Yeah. And for an alternate take, definitely recommend Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been seeing articles about how that's musically considered incredibly difficult and like almost genius level, and so I've kind of been wanting to do the same thing, go back and listen to it again just to understand what I was missing, because it's so
take a
familiar.
Listen. Yeah, it's almost like it almost becomes one of those wallpapery type of Christmas albums. But if like you really, let me listen to this like in its entirety and really,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Give that one a shot again.
So recommendation for that one. But other than that, we really appreciate everybody joining us here for our podcast today. Share this episode with a friend. If you think maybe we came up with some Christmas songs you hadn't heard of, share it with a friend and go and check them out.
Oh, I have a recommendation. Sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Reliant K's Christmas record. There's a couple of them.
Oh.
I think it's called Let It Rain Deer. And it's, rain,
that's
deer.
Fun.
So
I do like a good pun.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of them, but if you want something that's a little more up, rocky, check them out.
They have a classic 12 Days of Christmas, right?
Yeah, they also do a 12 Days, and it's just as fun as it was when Sean and Colson did it on Christmas tree lighting.
That's if you were there. Hey, next year we're going to get electric guitars and get Bob to give a face-melting solo for us.
And my suggestion, I know I already mentioned the Michael W. Smith Christmas album. It's called Christmas Time, one word. And I believe it is the second song on the album. Why do I know this still? I don't know. But it is a rendition of Jingle Bells, but it's so fun. It's not Jingle Bells. It's so much more than Jingle Bells.
Well, that's interesting in itself, because Jingle Bells is one of those like, okay, we've heard it enough.
But this one is a good time. Now, maybe take with a grain of salt that I am a musical theater lover. And so my musical theater loving self really loves it. I feel like I can see a whole dance routine happening to this number in the best way. But yeah,
that's a good.
All right, you guys. Well, we're going to have links to all of these so you can check them out. And so you can check them out on our website, on our homepage, also neighborhoodchurch.com/revive. You can find us also on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube at Neighborhood Church of Cypress, Neighborhood Church of Los Alamitos. And we'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know what your favorite songs are. You can email us at connect@neighborhoodchurch.com. That's CONNECT @neighborhoodchurch.com. Until next time, we pray that God revives your soul.